What's up, everybody? It's Just Some Black Nerd, St. Patrick, and today I'm going to be talking about chapter 971 of One Piece. I'm also going to be talking about more, probably My Hero and a couple others. I do read, more than the mainstream shonen. I like all genres, but I don't want to just be talking about any and everything when I know a lot of people don't read it. And like I said, this is 971 for the manga. So there will be spoilers if you only watch the anime. And this was it was an emotional chapter. We're still in flashback mode. And I know I said a couple weeks ago I was a little disappointed in Oden. And I noticed that people are still kind of on the fence about him as a character. Oh, Oden's stupid for listening to Orochi and Kato, or he's an honorable man. And this chapter kind of helped. I'm starting to respect him a little bit more. We still don't, I guess, fully know the story because if you read the chapter, you would know that he's still, kind of asking Kaido to keep his word. And this chapter, it felt similar to me. It felt similar when we first got introduced to Zoro, where he was tied up, and God, Helmeppo, he told him if he didn't eat for a month, he would set him free, which was obviously a lie. And now we learn this chapter that Oden, we learned last chapter that Oden and the scabbards, they were going to be executed by boiling. So Oden, before he got boiled, someone slipped in, dumbass, and we see how quick the oil takes him out. He's like in out 2 seconds, he's dead. And so Oden makes a deal with Kaido about if set a time limit. If anyone survives, they'll be let go. And Kaido, he says okay. So what Oden does, we learned this whole flashback. Oden has just a super strong body ever since birth, and he grabs a plank and he puts the 9 scabbards on there, and he kind of found a little loophole. He's kind of holding the scabbards up while he's in the pot, and the first time we see him in the pot, he's like super hot, and he's holding them up. He said, if anyone survives in the hour, let him go free. And like I said, we see that, and that eventually, some of the people watching, because they wanted to see the execution, they get a little bored. They're still calling Oden a fool of a lord, an idiot, which, like I said, ties into a couple chapters ago when Oda, he made it, so we didn't really know what the deal was between Oda and Orochi while he chose to dance for 5 years every week naked. And we kind of learned why this chapter. We got the little I guess sob story for Orochi, and basically Orochi's grandpa, he broke a law and he had to commit seppuku, and so his family name, I cannot remember it off the top of my head, bear with me. It starts with a K, Komizuki, Komizuki clan, and civilians were chasing them down, killing them, all in the name of justice. And basically Orochi, he got scared. He couldn't even sleep at night, so he flat out says he wants to bring Wano into ruins, and as payback for what happened. And so Orochi was going to send off like 100 people to Kaido's factory and overwork them to death. We know people die, going there for work. And what Oden did was, as an apology, was dance, naked week after week for 5 years as an apology, and also to not send people to his factory. And so what he did was constantly, go from region to region and wait on Wano to check and see if they was keeping their word, which they did, which is why I said I'm starting to put a little more respect on his name. And like I said, some others still feel like he should have attempted to attack Kaido 5 years ago. But as we learned, even Kaido said himself, he's like Whitebeard and Roger, where they're strong pirates, but they're also soft. Oden, he wanted the best. I guess he wanted to. Ooh, he wanted basically no casualties with his thing that he was doing. So that was basically it. That's why we learned, and people are still calling him idiot and whatever. And Shinobu's, she's getting pissed about it. And this is kind of how we learned all of this because she basically told the civilians that was watching the execution that Oden was doing so much for you guys. You didn't notice it, and you're still calling him an idiot. And this is how you treating him. And as you guys know, readers of One Piece, there's been a hint of a traitor with the scabbards, and a lot of people thought it was Shinobu. I think this chapter sort of cleared her from being one of the traitors. I still think last time we seen her, that should have cleared any doubt she was a traitor, but I think this sort of solidified it. And that was basically it. I think my prediction, what's going to happen is Oden is, as we see, it's hot. The oil's hot. I think he's going to maybe either last maybe 59 minutes in the pot and die, and I think the other people will survive. But Orochi and Kaido being slimes, I think they're going to send people out to kill them, not keep their word, which we know they survive. We know Toki sends them into the future, or I kind of see maybe they not knowing he's dead, but he's kind of like a Whitebeard thing where he's dead but holding the plank up, supporting them, and so like I said, it was definitely a deep chapter. Sad. It was one of those Whitebeard Zoro moments. My man's going out for the people close to him, and I really want to know what's going to happen to Orochi. What's going to happen if he's going to die? How he's going to lose? Same with Kato. I'm really looking forward to it. This flashback is making me excited for the present, and that's basically it for One Piece. There wasn't a chapter last week, and so yeah, next week, I think there is a chapter next week, but I'm not sure. But anyway, you'll still get the review from St. Patrick, just some black nerd. I do want to try to do the reviews at least a day at most after they release. I was gonna talk about last week's weekly Shonen Jumps, but by the time I got to it, it was Thursday, so I figured it was like ain't no point. So that's it for my One Piece review. Stay tuned to my others if you read them. Also subscribe to my channel, Just Some Black Nerd St. Patrick, where I'm here to talk, anime, or more so manga, or my nerdy interests. And that's it for this review. On that note, deuces.